Welcome to Off Deadline. I'm Melissa Dijon-Filippo, and my guest today is Rachel Cole. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. Love the name Off Deadline.
Thank you. Rachel Cole is an anchor, reporter, and multi-skilled journalist for 12 News with 13 years of experience. She joined NBC 12 News from KRIS-TV in Corpus Christi, Texas, where she was a morning anchor and reporter covering several high-profile trials, including the Hannah Overton case involving a foster mother who served 7 years in prison before her conviction was overturned. A native Arizonian, she is a cum laude graduate of the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Arizona State University. In her spare time, she enjoys running, hiking, and cheering on Arizona sports teams. And I know for a fact she has a really cute dog because I also have a really cute dog. Is it a full poodle?
Oh my gosh, no. She is a mini Irish doodle, and I am obsessed. Remind me your dog's name?
Molly, and she's a toy poodle.
Oh my gosh, she's like the spitting image of Hera,
Literally.
the dog. I love her.
We have to do a play date. I know we keep saying it, and now it's summer.
And now we're busy girls.
We got to make it happen. So I am so happy to have you. I've known you for a couple years. I love working with you. My team loves working with you, and it's just going to be fun to kind of go behind the scenes with you today.
Yeah, well, the feeling is completely mutual. I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to jump right in.
Okay.
First thing I always want to know is, how did you get into broadcast and why did you pick this career?
You know what? It just occurred to me. I was going to bring a prop and I totally forgot. It was a newspaper, the Puma Press.
Ooh,
so
yep.
Paradise Valley Community College, one of many amazing Maricopa County community colleges. Started as a writer, kind of got into creative print writing and print journalism. And then I had a professor just kind of say, you'd be really great at broadcast. You should apply when it was time to apply at Arizona State, and said, okay, cool, and did and got accepted. And it all kind of snowballed from there. So it just started as basic print journalism, like at
a love
community
for
college. Yeah.
Wow. And did you always have a love for the news, or like fact finding, or was it writing?
You know, it was more the writing.
Mm-hmm.
I was not a mathematician in the slightest, so I took to writing far more than I did with anything else in school. And, you know, Dear Diary moments back in the day, and writing notes to friends in class. And, you know, I would love to say that I was 5 years old and there's a video of me reporting the weather, but there just isn't.
Yeah.
It really grew when I was in my 20s.
That's awesome. And you said something that's interesting, because it happened to me too. Sometimes you don't know what your skill is going to be until someone points it out to you and is like, you have a skill for this. You should go in this direction. And it sounds like a professor did that for you. And same thing happened for me in PR. I was going to be a magazine editor. I was going to school for magazine journalism. And a professor in a PR course was like, I feel like you should try this. And when someone says that, I had no reason to think otherwise. I was like, go for it. You know?
You don't want to negate that. You're like, hey, let me give it a shot. And so Judy Galbraith, I will never forget her. She was the one who told me that. Again, proud Puma turned Sun Devil, and just thank her for pointing that out and being so encouraging, because there's so much more than just teachers. I mean, she's a total mentor and guidance counselor.
That's awesome. Yes. I love to hear that. Well, thanks, Judy.
Yes, Judy, thank you.
We're diving in. We're going to go deep. I want to know what story pushed you the furthest outside your comfort zone, and how did that experience transform you and how you report?
Oh my gosh. And it's so tough in the last 13 years, and it changes every single day. So I'm trying to think back. So I will say, on any given day, you go into an editorial meeting, you don't really know what the day is going to bring. And I was assigned to go cover basically a simulation of what first responders do when responding to a house fire. In this case, it was a roof collapse. And because of the training facilities that local fire departments have, you're able to go and see what those simulations, what trainings are like. And so I had X amount of hours to get it done and turn it for the early evening shows. And so I thought, okay, cool, I'll go out and they'll show me what's going on. Well, managers and what we call producer vision wants the most visually compelling for the viewer to really understand. So fast forward, I have the turnouts on, okay, the firefighters
full gear.
Full gear, the tank. I'm having this firefighter assist me in putting it on. And then we are then asked to then go into what would be a house or a structure, and they're like, we won't cover your eyes, but just close your eyes so that you understand you can't see, you can barely hear your crew, and you're just overwhelmed, and the weight too. So I made it maybe about 3 feet and started panicking.
Yeah.
I started panicking, and I forgot that my eyes were closed. Like, I finally understand what a panic attack is. And so then, again, fast forward to now I'm trying to write the story. And I was encouraged by my 2 current coworkers to share that experience, because if we're trying to simulate and or share with viewers what it's like to be a first responder, then just admit you can't. You
Right?
cannot do what they do.
Yeah.
And so that was a very overwhelming thing to try to tell in story form. But I think the natural reaction that I had to it helped communicate to the viewers that we have no idea what our first responders go through, and to say that they're heroes is an incredible understatement.
Wow.
It was cool.
That's a crazy. And was the experience filmed for a segment, or was it something that you were doing to be able to describe?
So it was filmed for a segment, and unfortunately it was on the heels of an actual fire and situation that happened.
Yeah.
Thankfully nobody was hurt, but it was crazy because my photographer, seasoned, guy that he is, he kept rolling on this situation that I was going through. So you can
saw
see
everything.
the distraught, like, just overwhelming. And it was so embarrassing. And I was like, there's no way I'm going on the air. And again, encouragement from one of my coworkers, 2 of them, who said, this is part of storytelling, is what you experience, what you saw, being in an environment, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. So it was very moving, and just put into perspective again how incredible our emergency crews are, and what they go through. And being a daughter of a police officer, like, I can't imagine some of the things my dad went through over 30 years, and I don't envy him. So even on my toughest days, like, someone has it worse. Bad,
yeah. And the vulnerability that you're able to show viewers in moments like that, when you were like, this is never airing, and then maybe you use it, is so important. I think when people have an emotional connection to you and they feel like you're being real, it is so different how they consume what you're saying.
There's one thing, there's a difference between being on a show and being part of the show and actually showing them, like, what it is that you experience firsthand. And reporting, I mean, you go and you're going to stand somewhere, then bring me there as a viewer, bring me in. So
yep, I love that. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yes.
Every journalist that I've spoken to so far talks about some moments of doubt they've had in their career, because it's not an easy job. We know this. Is there a time when you reached a professional crossroads, and how did you navigate that moment?
That's a really great question too. I want to be asking the questions, Melissa. No, these are great questions. A crossroads in my career. Clearly, I think journalism's like the #1 industry where people suggest faking it until you make it, and imposter syndrome is very prevalent in our industry. But more recently, I had the opportunity, through a string of coincidences or whatever it was,
serendipitous moments.
Yes,
something.
Exactly. To have the opportunity to interview a politician who was running for president of the United States.
Wow.
Pretty elite position, regardless of where you stand, and a get, as we call it in the business. And so I kind of thought to myself, well, I'm not a political reporter. I don't have any like background in politics. I kind of just scratch the surface when necessary on a day turn. And so I didn't think that I would ever be prepared or qualified. Yes. And there was so much self-doubt. And thankfully, I have an amazing husband who literally has my back, and there's nothing I can't do in his eyes. And so, of course, I ran through a couple of scenarios with him and tried to simulate what an interview would be like with this politician. And again, had great managers in my corner who were like, no, like, let's just pick a couple of things. Let's focus. Let's find the path where you're comfortable and ready. And unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity. There was a scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
But by the time it was all said and done, and I had confided in the people who know me personally and professionally, I did feel ready.
Wow.
But boy, I mean.
What a moment.
Yes. But to fake it till you make it, I'm like, well, why not me? Right?
Yeah. Instead of asking why me,
right.
Well, how about why not me? And you're right. It doesn't take, maybe you assume it has to be someone who's only on that beat and who is very well versed, and you think that that's what viewers expect. But also you're a human who gets to vote for the president, and you happen to be a news anchor.
Right.
So why not you?
Yes.
You know?
And I was so excited. I'll tell you that day, I mean, I had butterflies and anxious feelings and all kinds of stuff, but I felt prepared and I felt ready. And I was so disappointed to have missed the opportunity. But then I thought, okay, the answer is not no, it's not right now.
And next time you'll do it.
And next time I'll be all the more ready. Yes.
That's
and
awesome.
confident. Yes.
Yeah. That takes. And I imagine you grew up here, and
Yes.
I've talked to a few other reporters who've grown up in the Valley. Maybe there's things that feel extra hard about knowing your community that you've grown up with is watching you on the news, or maybe it makes it extra easy. How do you deal with that feeling of, growing up here and people know you?
That's actually a good question too. I don't think about it too much. Your big goal when you start in this industry is to make sure you can get back home to your home market. I love being here in Phoenix. I did grow up here. I only had to spend 5 years away cutting my teeth, and it is funny to think about if you hear from someone maybe from high school who snaps a screenshot and they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's Rachel." Yeah. And it's fun. I don't think it adds any pressure because they know me, and I like to think that who they knew, back in high school is exactly who they're getting on the TV. I really pride myself on not putting on a front, not putting on a news anchor voice. I mean, you want to be professional, but I like to think I'm past that point of pretending that I'm the news anchor or the news reporter, because I am that. And for almost 15 years, it's
you.
It's been great. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. It's, a great reminder just to not let those things hold people back.
Yes.
That could,
Exactly. Yes. Don't overthink who's watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Mom.
What is the most joyful or uplifting experience you've had while working so far that reminds you yes, I'm doing what I love every day?
Oh, gosh. In the past 2 years, I was more designated as a community reporter, getting to work with a lot of nonprofits, getting to do a lot of community live shots and interact with families and just philanthropists. And I really took a lot of pride in that role because of growing up here. And, I think there's so much strength and benefit to the viewer to educate them on everything that's going on in our own backyard, so to speak. And so the greatest joy is legitimately meeting new people, finding out what's important to them, and, really just touting Arizona as a whole. And it's so fun for me to hear a producer in my ear saying, "Okay, and we're coming to Rachel in 3, 2, 1." And it's like, let's go and let's make this fun for whoever I'm interviewing, whether it's a little kid or, a group organizer or a founder. It's just, they're all just so joyful. And of course, the really, really fun stuff that's obvious is covering the Super Bowl and interviewing Guy Fieri and his sons and talking about, I don't like when people do that when I interview them, and talking about everything that's fun and good about a grandiose event that brings so many people together. And it's just, there's so much joy to be had within our community. And so anytime I get the chance to do that, it's going to be the top of my list of awesome moments.
That's cool. Is there one that stands out that you're "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here"? Is it the Super Bowl, or is there something like that you just were amazed that you got that opportunity to go somewhere, or
So yes, prior to the pandemic, there were often opportunities for reporters specifically affiliated with a network like CBS, NBC, to go and do what is called a press junket. And so you get to go and meet the actors and actresses who are starring in new drama series or new sitcoms and things of that nature. So I was asked to go to LA and New York. And it had been a minute since I'd been to either place. And so it was so fun to go there. You get to go with a photographer. You're traveling for work. You get a per diem, which is fun. You're like, yes, lunch is on the house. And that's a big deal. Ask any journalist. If free food is available, they're there.
Good to know.
Exactly. Oh, gosh, yeah. We're all we're never hungry until food's around. And we're like, oh, my gosh, what is it? Donuts, pizza, we're in. And so that was a really incredible opportunity. I got to meet other reporters from different markets and, shoot the breeze with them. Obviously, meeting actors is really fun. And then to see those shows go somewhere into maybe another season, like Off Deadline or something of that nature, was really cool and just felt very, elite. You're standing on the red carpet interviewing people from AGT, America's Got Talent, and that was fun. And Julianne Hough was there. Like, it was fun.
Cool.
It was
I
so
would
fun.
love
Terry
that.
Crews.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That's cool. I love that. Like the entertainment side of it would be really fun.
Yes, it was different than the day-to-day.
Yeah, absolutely. A nice break.
Yes.
Can you share an instance where you witnessed something in the field that was difficult to process emotionally, and just talk about that experience and how you handled it?
They use the term jaded so often for people in our business, and it's sad that I couldn't tell you something so specific so quickly because
you've clearly seen a lot.
We see it all the time, and people wonder, how can you possibly try to interview someone on their worst day? And it's like, in this day and age, when you have an opportunity to speak to a family member about a tragedy or someone impacted by something negative, you are genuinely trying to help them. It's not to just cross something off the list. And so, if we show up to house fires and you see a family displaced or neighbors who are trying to help before first responders got there, I think those just kind of sit with you a little bit longer than day-to-day news, and your heart just hurts for them because there's only so much you can do. But if there's an opportunity to get the community involved to help, or to promote the GoFundMe that might help them just a little bit. So unfortunately, I feel like there's too many that I feel like I've covered, and I'm grateful that in recent days and weeks and months I haven't had to cover as much of that. The difficult one to process that sticks out is we headed to West Phoenix, and there was allegations of child abuse, and there was an alley behind this neighborhood, and there was still kind of what looked to me like evidence from the situation. And it's hard to see that, and it's mind-blowing that I can't just tell you, when you see them cover a body or something, that's not the one. But when it comes to children involved in some of these tough news stories, that is the hardest. I don't have kids of my own, but I have 10 nieces and nephews, and it's too much to even fathom what families go through, whether it's a drowning or, in this case, something worse where it's intentional and you're harming a child or an animal. I mean, the animal cruelty stories. So this particular one, it was just, there was a few toys, baby dolls and stuff scattered, and then there's, you see like a plastic bin, and then you just start thinking about all of the other stories. And my auntie is a paralegal, and so she has to read these stories, that are even more detailed than any newscaster could ever imagine, because it's police taking the reports and it's information that gets redacted. And so those are incredibly challenging situations to be at. And that one in particular was just, even if it wasn't related to the case, the stuff that was around the scene where we were doing live reports was just too much. And you have PIOs, public information officers with Phoenix Police, telling us, if for some reason you can't take care of a child, or you don't want a baby that comes into your life, just drop it off at the safe haven places. Like, the fire departments will take it. These nonprofits will take it. No questions asked. So that's disgusting,
heart-wrenching.
And it's heart-wrenching, and it's heartbreaking. And I know you can't save them all, whether it's animals or kids or whatever, but you just wish there was something else that you could share with the community that let them know that's not their only option. There are other options before something like that happens. So those are tough.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Those are tough.
And I just I want to say thank you for doing that hard work, because I think as viewers sometimes we're like, no more bad news, but if we don't know about justice has to be done, given, and we need to know. And so that bad stuff is critical. Like, it was someone's kid.
Exactly. I understand a lot of people think that it's all bad news. We're not trying to just point out problems and then say, okay, have a great day. We really are identifying the problems sharing what they are. And then really what journalism is at its core is solution-based. Like, but we can't find a solution if we don't identify a problem. And so I think we want to work in conjunction, and police departments have said, you know, how can we better serve the media? And I've just shared with a couple close friends in police departments that, you know, the reason why we nag you via email and try to get information about a scene or a developing situation is because we both have a shared goal, and that's to get information to the public. The difference is we have to do it on a deadline. And so that's why we bark up your tree about what can you share? Is there a vehicle description? Is there a suspect description? Is there harm to the community? Is there a threat to the community? So they have been doing such good work in improving their public information and getting us those answers. And sometimes there aren't any.
Yeah.
But if we don't ask, then we're not doing our job. So there's a mutual respect that's really growing between public information officers and the media. And I want to see that relationship continue to grow because, again, the shared goal is to get information to the public.
Yeah. You said there's a bunch, and I have no doubt that that's the case. In any of those moments, how do you deal with that when you go home at night and you have to kind of turn it off? I imagine it's hard. Like you've gotten used to it, but like, do you have coping mechanisms? How do you deal with that like mental health toll that it probably takes?
That's a good question too. I think part of it is, again, who you have at home and their, you know, ear that you can bend and kind of talk about it with. A lot of venting and getting that off your chest or processing it is also with your photographers. Like the photographer-reporter relationship, while it's weaning just a bit because of, you know, MMJs and multi-skilled journalists and things of that nature, that relationship is pretty powerful because you both understand that you have a job to do, but then you can talk about it on the drive back to the station or in between breaks of shows and things like that. So I'm thankful to have worked with so many great photographers who have been in the business far longer than even I have, who know when to keep it light and when to listen or when to give a different example of something similar or, you know, or worse, unfortunately. And so there's a pretty powerful relationship there where you feel like you don't necessarily have to take it home.
Yeah, you can. It's almost like therapy there, just getting it out and talking about it.
Yeah, and I mean, especially on those longer commutes to get to a scene, or if you're going to cover a storm in Flagstaff, I mean, you learn so much about somebody in just those little drive times. You know, when typically, you know, we're all alone or we're listening to a podcast or the music, or, you know, you take advantage of that and somebody who was right there with you.
Yeah, that's great. Which of your stories do you believe made a genuine difference despite limited public attention? Or maybe it was all more behind the scenes that what you did made a really big impact?
I would have to go back a couple of years. I think it was pre-pandemic, but there was a young boy in the East Valley, and I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he was really excited and genuinely wanted to do and perform the national anthem for the Diamondbacks. And that's a big deal. I feel like if I ever get to throw out a first pitch, I'll have made it. You know, everybody has something different, like if I'm a bobblehead or if I become a Barbie doll, like in real life, you know, something like. But first pitch is a big deal, and performing the national anthem even more so. And so we went and did a feature on him. And of course, you tag everybody involved and all organizations, and you hope that something like that goes viral. And in this case, it didn't necessarily go viral, but he then got an invitation to come and do it. And I'm not sure if we hadn't done the story or if just, you know, his mom touting it on Facebook would have been enough. But it was so great to see this little boy's like wish or dream to do this performance and our nation's anthem, and to do it in front of such a big crowd is just so cool. And again, I don't think it caught a lot of fire on my social media pages, but in general, just airing it. And I feel like a lot of times, you know, our team will get to tell the viewers, you know, because of a story we did right here on 12 News, this happened or that happened, and change has been made. Obviously, a lot of that is impacted by the I-team and their investigations. But again, the last 2 years where I've been the community reporter, I don't know that all of that got a lot of, you know, accolades and applause, but I know that the people who were involved in the stories felt like it was the biggest deal, and I was happy to be a part of it and roll my gear out and shoot it and tell it and find a song to lay under it. And that all is a big, all is so amazing to me that they're going to have that 90-second package forever.
And I think like as a PR person, it's so true that sometimes one story, like whether it's a kid getting his dream to throw a first pitch or a business getting a line out the door or someone telling important tips and tricks to like keep your kids safe, it doesn't matter. One story can make the biggest difference. And I think people don't always understand that. Like it can really change the game.
And to be honest, when we're sitting here talking about post-production of even this conversation and how it looks and how it comes off and how it's viewed, every day, 5 days a week for 13 years, I've been able to take, 8 hours worth of work and condense it down into 90 seconds. And again, to the people involved, that's all they want. I interviewed a little boy. Oh my gosh, this is so great. A little boy at the Diamondbacks game a couple of weeks ago. And his mom, I said, here's my phone number. Please text me if you can't find the content or something. Because, streaming YouTube and 12 minutes, I don't know where it lands. I said, please just text me and say, hey, can you please get me the clip? And she is so over the moon.
You changed her.
How long did that take me? Nothing.
Yeah.
The work was already done. Like, she just couldn't find it. So.
Oh, that's so nice.
So fun.
That's a great feeling.
He's such a cute little kid.
Aww.
The kids.
What aspect of your personal background shapes your reporting in ways that the audience might not recognize?
I would say a big part of who I am as a young lady, as a young journalist,
you are,
is a huge credit to my parents. Very independent, like hardworking. My mom has been with the airlines for almost 30 years. My dad was 30 years Phoenix PD, and they just hustle, they just work, and they set good examples to myself and my 3 siblings. And I just, as much as we like to laugh and joke and be sarcastic and feel like us siblings for sure have our own language, we just hard work and discipline and showing up and being on time. Like if you're a police officer and you show up late to debriefing, I don't want to know who your sergeant is because you're going to be read the right act just like a criminal would. Then you got my mother, who, again, has been working for the airlines for 30 years. If you show up late, guess what? I think we all know as passengers.
We all know what
they
that
don't
looks
wait
like.
for you. And you don't get a lot of chances. And so I think for me personally to have deadlines be part of my day-to-day is no accident. I'm just accustomed to being on time, being strategic, making sure that I can get everything done in a timely fashion. And I think my parents and my siblings are very much to thank for that. Family is very important to me, which is why I tried as fast as I could to go from South Texas back here home to Phoenix. And I missed them real bad, but it was worth it. My mom's side of the family wasn't too far away in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
But just, and even extended family. I mean, they just hustle. There's property managers and real estate agents, and everybody just is looking to serve someone else. Mm-hmm. And so when I, take my gear and start reporting for the day, the idea is to either serve the audience with information and to help their lives in one way or another, or to help the actual, person or group I'm doing a story with that day.
Yeah. So I love that it's your family who taught you some of those really critical core values that make you so good at your job, and I'm sure have helped you grow. And there's a lot of peers of yours, I'm sure, who just didn't get as far as fast, and it's because you are on time and you show up prepared and you're ready to put in the work.
My dad's favorite story is, there's these personalities that match with colors, and they're all a little bit different, but his favorite is to say, well, Rachel's my gold. You can't tell her, hey, this starts at this time, because if it's that time, she's going to be standing outside by the Astro van waiting to go to California in the middle of summer 1996 saying, we're supposed to leave right now. So they finally just stopped telling me when we were going to be leaving, because, boy, I get hell-bent if I'm not on time.
You told me this time.
Exactly. And so, yes, which is also why I was here 15 minutes early.
I love it. You're my kind of girl. I am on time is early.
Yeah.
I mean, period.
Right,
So
exactly.
I
Couldn't
appreciate
agree
it.
more.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, we're going into rapid fire questions.
geez.
Okay, so your job is to say like the first thing that comes to mind. Please tell a little
Terrific.
story. Tell a little story if you need to.
Okay.
Okay. Secret weapon to get you through a rough deadline day.
Oh, gosh. I'm supposed to answer these quickly?
Yep.
Secret weapon would be to just gather as much information as possible. Like, think of a puzzle. You dump the puzzle out on the table and you want to flip the pieces over and just try to organize them as quickly as possible. So what information do I have? How can I organize it and start skeletoning my package story?
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard someone ever use that, like a description. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
That's really smart.
You need a puzzle at the end of the day. Where are my pieces? And then what's the hardest ones to get? That's the ones I need to prioritize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Most bizarre place you've ever conducted an interview.
Oh, gosh. You're usually in hallways or you're trapping someone probably halfway down the stairs in front of a courthouse, chasing someone down. Did you commit that crime? I just think the most awkward interviews are the ones where you're chasing someone down. Like,
Please talk to me.
You know how ridiculous it sounds. You know how they're not going to respond to you. And so that's probably just the awkward interview versus an awkward interview place. But
Yeah.
I don't love those. That's like not my bread and butter to chase someone down.
No.
I like a very designated,
Like a planned
we
interview.
mic you up. Yes,
They wanna talk
We know
to
what's
you.
happening. Right? They want to be involved.
Yeah. That's better. One interview subject you're secretly hoping to land.
Okay, so that's the same. I would like to interview the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I don't care which one it is. I mean, there's been so few to hold that position. I think that would be such a cool interview. Obviously, I think we all have a lot of questions. But outside of a serious politician, that sounds like an oxymoron. Outside of I would probably like to interview Robin Meade, also someone in the business, how she got started in her career and where she is now after HLN kind of went sideways.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that'd be a great interview.
Oh, she's just so spectacular. I just love her anyways as a viewer, but it would be great to talk one-on-one with her about her journey and what she's doing now and everything else.
On that note, real quick, I have to ask a question about like long-term goals as a reporter. Is it always a dream to go do national, or is local really the place where people strive to stay?
When you start in any career or industry, you have this idea of what your dream is. I think that every 5 to 10 years, or call it what you want, you should revisit what you think your dream is, because I'm sure a lot of people do dream that big. Oh, I want to sit on the Today Show desk. I want to be a traveling reporter. I've given those things a lot of thought. And first of all, that's an even greater hustle than getting back to your home market. But is that my dream? And I think the more I think about network reporters, they are so amazing at what they do, but they are on the scene of every horrible thing that happens in our country, across the world. And my heart can only take so much. And as jaded as I'd like to think I am, there's some things that it's okay to not be a witness to. And so to be in my home market with my husband and my puppy and my whole family up the road is like better than any dream I think I've ever had for my career.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Yes, I feel very blessed to have worked up to this point and earned this spot.
Yeah. Most embarrassing autocorrect fail in a story or a post or whatever that you couldn't take back and you still like cringed a little bit.
So have you ever swam in the ocean in Utah?
The Salt Lake. Like, wait.
No.
Wait, swam in the ocean in Utah? Sorry.
Exactly.
I missed that. Did you say that
So
on
did
air?
I. I missed it too. We were going to break. And bless her heart, I won't call her out, but my producer, was so distracted. She was getting ready for a very exciting concert for New Kids on the Block.
I mean,
and
duh.
so she was distracted, and frankly, so was I. But this is a real Ron Burgundy moment. So I'm like, and after the break on 12 News at 1:00, houses sliding into the ocean in Utah. We'll be right back. And then we go to break, and I'm like, did I just say that there are oceans in Utah? And she goes, my bad.
It was like on the teleprompter?
But yes.
Oh,
but it's like,
God.
it's not her fault.
No, of course not. And you said it. So
And I said it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I know that Utah is landlocked. This is so embarrassing. And then I think I made a joke about it because you have a decision to make when you do something like that. You can either hope that no one saw it and everyone's watching their TV on mute, which is not good. Or you can basically point it out again and make fun of yourself. And boy, if you don't laugh at yourself in this business, you're going to have real problems.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I laugh a lot.
Hey, that's got to be the best way to deal. And just to be able to go home being like, you know what, whatever happens today or tomorrow, like, I can handle it.
Yes. And yes, sorry, Utah. I know you don't have oceanfront property. Neither do we. Let's just keep it that way. It's all on the record now.
Perfect. Weirdest thing you've ever expensed for the job?
What have we expensed? I know one time I thought about buying an umbrella because, you know, it doesn't rain. What's the weirdest thing I've ever expensed? You know what? It was a black light because we were doing a scorpion story.
Oh.
And so, of course, for the 10 p.m., we were trying to find scorpions. So we expensed the black light because we're like, well, we got to be able to find them. We did not find any, thank goodness.
Well, I imagine like even with like your camera lights, it would throw off the black light situation.
Yeah. Well, you just kind of got to find one. Then, okay, they're over here.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Mike at Pest Control doesn't really think that's smart. Thanks, Mike. So yes, black light. And it's better to elaborate on why you bought a black light.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thankfully, it wasn't anything.
The other story would be like going into a hotel room and doing like a cleanliness.
Oh, like our oh gosh, what do we used to do? The filth finder.
Oh,
Will Pitts always did the filth finder.
So gross. Thank God. I would not ever want to
I don't want to know.
No bad.
I don't want to know.
So bad. I really appreciate you sharing that. It was such a pleasure to have you here today, Rachel. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. I've got to go to Chase Field and talk about baseball, I guess. Every day is different. Yes, every day is different. So we're excited. The D-backs take it on the Marlins this weekend. I know that'll be dated.
That's okay, though.
But yeah. The D-backs hopefully pulling through. We'll say that.
They're sick.
I know.
I hope so, too, for all of us.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yes.